From the outset, the Dolphins would try to run on Kansas City's defense, number 2 in the AFC against the run. And throughout the first half, the Dolphins tandem of Jim Kick and Larry Zonka would be unable to do so. In fact, the Chiefs dominated the first quarter both on defense and on offense. The Chiefs moved well early in the game with Dawson's setbacks, number 14 Ed Podolak, and number 38 Wendell Hayes having more success than Miami's touted duo. With Miami's defense more wary of the Chiefs' passing, their running worked well and produced an early field goal. Then on the Dolphins' second series, Greasy sprung Paul Warfield for his first catch and the Dolphins' first down. Greasy would try to mix his targets, however, especially trying to clear his tight end over the middle. He tried this and failed, as middle linebacker Willie Lanier was in perfect zone coverage, intercepted, and caused one of the few turnovers Miami has suffered all year. Stram's strategy would be to have Dawson rely heavily on his setbacks, and in particular Ed Podolak, and it was Podolak who scored the touchdown. Repeating the score, we can see Dawson look the defense one way and go the other, where he had Podolak and number 76 guard Mo Mormon ready to stamp out any would-be tacklers. The Chiefs' strategy of ignoring the obvious in Taylor, using him as a decoy, and instead springing the quick Podolak wide on screens and sweeps had worked well, and Kansas City led 10-0. Conversely, Miami's only offense so far had been the obvious, Greasy to Warfield. Number 42 is a magician in cleats and took the Dolphins into Kansas City territory on the last play of the first quarter. The Chiefs were stifling Miami's running, and Greasy really had no choice but to continue to pass. He was receiving good protection, and this, plus his ability to roll out of pressure and throw accurately on the run, is one of the reasons the Dolphins got to the playoffs. His receivers are always conscious of this and work well with Greasy on a busted play, as number 80 tight end Marv Fleming did here. Three plays later, the Dolphins' Larry Zonka snuck over for Miami's first score. It was now 10-7 Chiefs. Dawson kept getting the big play from Ed Podolak. The Chiefs' downfield blocking for Podolak was superb, and Podolak again sparked the Chiefs into Dolphin territory. Dawson's faking was superb too. On the next play, he fooled almost everyone with 3 backfield fakes. However, he failed to fool Curtis Johnson, number 45, who stayed right with Otis Taylor and halted the drive with an interception. But the Dolphins failed to move with the interception, and the Chiefs got the ball back on a punt. It was Podolak again, using his deceptive speed to outrun the Dolphins' line and linebackers, 32 yards to the Dolphin 29. This was to be one of the key series in the game, for although Podolak had taken them deep, the Chiefs came up empty. So the Dolphins took over with under 4 minutes left in the half, and although Greasy had some success with short flips to his setbacks, the Dolphins could not reach midfield. Aside from the one touchdown drive, Miami could not figure out the Chiefs' defense, which was keying on Miami's runners, and for the most part pressuring and containing Greasy. The Chiefs took over with 1.5 minutes left in the half. It was here that Ed Podolak, who had played so well throughout the game, made his only mistake, Trying merely to run out the halftime clock, Podolak lost the ball, Dick Anderson recovered, and the Dolphins would have the last shot before the half. Miami's defense is sometimes overlooked, but they had produced 2 takeaways in the half. Greasy failed to capitalize on Johnson's earlier interception, and now he failed to score on Anderson's recovery. But Yepremian did kick a field goal here to salvage 3, and the teams went into the locker room tied 10-10 at the half. A long, time-consuming drive of the type Dawson used to beat Oakland to gain the playoffs. Stram decided to let Dawson use his wide receivers more in the second half on medium-range passes in front of Miami's zone. And 2 of the key plays in the drive were passes to number 17 Elmo Wright and to Otis Taylor, who lateraled to Podolak. A penalty on this play reduced the gain, but on the next play, Podolak ripped through a gaping hole up the middle. Stram had inserted the 3rd in his big back arsenal, Jim Otis, and number 35 made a key first down on 3rd and 2 from the Dolphin 13, bouncing off his own blocker and moving to the 1. 2 plays later, Otis went up and over, and the 16-play, 10-minute drive had put the Chiefs ahead 17-10. But the next 4 minutes saw the Dolphins do quickly what the Chiefs had taken almost a whole quarter to do. Thus began one of the great ironies of the game, the ability of Greasy and Miami to strike back swiftly. First, Greasy hit number 81, Howard Twilley. Then it was Warfield on the quick post between Jim Kearney and Emmett Thomas to the Chiefs' 7. Two plays later, on 3rd and goal from the 1, Jim Kick went over, and Yepremian's extra point tied the score at 17 at the end of the 3rd quarter. The game was dead even both on the board and on the field. It would remain so for a long time to come. On the first play of the 4th quarter, Nick Bonaconti recovered a fumble in Chief territory, and the Dolphins picked up where they left off in the 3rd period by moving the football. Greasy passed right into the arms of linebacker Jim Lynch. Miami's first series of the new quarter, like Kansas City's, had ended in a turnover. The Chiefs had a break, the ball on their own 9, and quickly moved out on 2 short runs, and Dawson's pass to tight end Willie Frazier, playing in place of Morris Stroud. The Chiefs' short game had drawn the Miami defense in tight. So here, from his own 34, Len Dawson threw the long ball. It's doubtful that Elmo Wright really thought he'd scored. More likely, the rookie wanted a chance to show off his victory dance to a national television audience. On the next play, behind beautiful blocking, Ed Podolak powered past safety Dick Anderson into the end zone for the touchdown that put his team in front 24-17. There was just 7 minutes left in the game now, but it was enough time for Bob Greasy to put on a furious display of pinpoint passing that brought Miami right back in the game. First, after rolling right, Greasy turned and threw across the field for his tight end Marv Fleming on a play that produced 13 yards and a first down on the Miami 42. Here, Greasy sprung the reverse to Warfield, but the flanker fumbled. Luckily, Bob DeMarco recovered and Miami retained possession. 3rd and 13, and Greasy went to his ace Warfield, who had beaten Emmett Thomas over the middle. The Dolphins had the first down they so desperately needed. From here, Greasy simply peppered the Kansas City secondary with a succession of short, accurate passes. First to Jim Mandich at the right sideline, then a perfectly lofted pass to Warfield, who took it all the way to the Chief 12. On this key pass, Warfield was operating on the short side of the field with little room to maneuver. Yet his moves completely fooled Emmett Thomas, number 18, who could only leap in a futile gesture at the pass over his head. Now from the 12, Greasy continued his aerial onslaught with a rollout bullet to Howard Twilley at the 5-yard line. Miami called timeout. There was now only a minute and a half remaining in the game. Here on his opponent's 5, with no time left for mistakes, Bob Greasy vividly demonstrated why in this, his 5th NFL season, he has become the complete pro quarterback. Greasy's primary receiver was blanketed in the end zone, so he improvised. Rolling to his right, he spotted a secondary outlet in Marv Fleming and hit him for the touchdown. The Dolphins had again spotted the Chiefs a touchdown, then marched the length of the field to tie them. In fact, the Chiefs dominated the first quarter both on defense and on offense. The Chiefs moved well early in the game with Dawson's setbacks, number 14 Ed Podolak and number 38 Wendell Hayes having more success. Then on the Dolphins' second series, Greasy sprung Paul Warfield for his first catch and the Dolphins' first down. Greasy would try to mix his targets, however, especially trying to clear his tight end over the middle. He tried this and failed, as middle linebacker Willie Lanier was in perfect zone coverage, intercepted, and caused one of the few turnovers Miami has suffered all year. From the outset, the Dolphins would try to run on Kansas City's defense, number 2 in the AFC against the run, and throughout the first half, the Dolphins' tandem of Jim Kick and Larry Zonka would be unable to do so. Less than Miami's touted duo. With Miami's defense more wary of the Chiefs' passing, their running worked well and produced an early field goal.